Hello, YouTubers, here on Monday, October 21st, about 2:45 in the afternoon, Eastern Time. I thought I'd show you what I did today here as far as preparing for tonight's meal. We got a little mix of pintos and lentils and tomatoes and things, and I'll throw some olives in there later on here. Let me take a taste of that. That's very fine. Of course, you got some vinegar and garlic and various things in it, and so we'll be working on that here later on tonight. And then I've actually downloaded a few movies today. Well, this is the third one. This is Room with a View that I'm downloading, and before that I had downloaded this fine movie called Lawn Boys, and then I downloaded Waterloo. I misspoke. The movie was not called Lawn Boys, but Lawn Dogs, and it's actually a British movie, and it was made in 1998. And interestingly, it was filmed in Louisville and Danville, Kentucky. Two very different physical settings, if you know anything about Kentucky. And this is absolutely excellent on so many levels, as all good stories are. And it's, the underlying conceit is that it's an American set remake of either an Icelandic or Nordic saga, or perhaps Danish or maybe North German saga of a witch and an enchanted girl and magic objects and how people interact with this, but it basically has to do with the darker motivations of various human beings in a suburban setting. And as anybody's driven around up here where I live and seen all the, what I call my vision of hell, all this suburban stuff, I don't think we don't quite run the gated communities up here, actually, although there are a couple or three, actually. Well, and that has to get into the whole social class stuff and how working people live and so forth. It's an excellent movie, Lawn Dogs, 1998. And then I downloaded this Waterloo, which was in 1970, which I remember vaguely seeing on TV many, many years later. It's one of these historical dramas, dealing with the Battle of Waterloo. And as I recall, it's very historically accurate. Can't remember who's in it right now. I didn't bother to actually look at it. I just downloaded it. So I've used up about 4 gigabytes of space on my hard drive today. But that will provide amusement later on, or maybe not. In any case, it's there. So this morning, I had addressed this in a reply to a message somebody left on one of my videos this morning about this Wall Street Journal subscription morass that I found myself in, and it turns out that indeed they cut me off this morning. And I tried a workaround that I had found on the internet some months back, which actually worked. Now, I can't say whether it worked for the Wall Street Journal at that point, but the individual who posted this workaround said that it did work with the Wall Street Journal at that point, but I can tell you it doesn't work today. But the workaround is this. Now this was put in. This was originally written by a woman named Susan Krasinski in the Toronto Globe and Mail, and her piece was called "Jumping the Paywall." And so she gives some instructions. Jumping the paywall. Do you want to read? And then she names a newspaper. Read the articles online, but don't feel like paying for them. Here's how. And then it says, browse the home page of the newspaper or any other section front, which you can do for free. And that's true. Most of these you can do for free. Then it says, copy the headline of the story you want to read. Basically, it's, you click on the title of the story, and then the little drop-down menu says copy. Okay. And then you go. So you have to use two browsers. You do that in one browser. Then you go to another browser, and then you just paste that thing into the search bar of the browser, the second browser, and hit enter, and boom, you're right to the story. And it says at this point, this was last fall or early this year. It says the same method can be used to avoid paying for access to the Wall Street Journal and Financial Times. Well, that's not true. It's no longer true for the Wall Street Journal. I can't speak to the Financial Times. I've not tried that. But not the Times of London. And that's true because the Times of London has always been very difficult to get into. Well, of course, it's a Murdoch paper, as is the Wall Street Journal, so that might explain something to do with it. Oh, there goes my mail has just arrived. Go away, get out of my face, Bee. Get out of my face. Well, my mail has just arrived. Perhaps I'll take you down there to fetch it. Well, we're off to get the mail here. I've noticed my iPole stealth has started to sometimes let the camera slip around. It drops off to the side if you don't hold it exactly right level, and this may result in the universal solution called furnace tape. Well, maybe some electrician's tape, although furnace tape, holds a certain allure for being the universal solution. Oh, we're getting those wonderful purple flowers. Oh, I love it. A little bit late in the season, but it's good. They look like goldenrod, but they're purple. Well, they don't quite look like goldenrod because they've got a different shaped flower, but what the heck? Let's not quibble. Well, let's see here. We keep getting run over. Sorry about the bouncing around. Well, there we go here. Well, add American Rifleman magazine, which I always, I'm a life member of the NRA, so I get the American Rifleman magazine all the time. I guess until I cack off. I also have a life subscription to the New England Journal of Medicine. Well, that's paid off. $300 in 1972, which of course would be about $2,100 in today's money. But the gift that keeps on giving. So anyway, I got the American Rifleman magazine. NRA is a bit wet for my taste, but you know, I'm more a Gun Owners of America guy. When the truth, you know, when the truth hits the fan. We'll take a little break here now. Here's a solicitation for votes for a woman named Katie Barraclough and a fellow named Brian Helwig for the Olentangy School Board. Now it turns out that a woman named Marianne Hildebrand knocked on my door. Well, she rang my doorbell. I'm surprised the thing worked, because the doorbell often doesn't work. I had to be around 11 o'clock this morning. And she wanted me to vote for these people. Well, I told her I'd already planned to vote for these two people anyway, because these are running against the two incumbents. The one incumbent is the chairwoman of or the president of the school board, more accurately, I guess. And she's been an individual that has consistently stifled public debate at the meetings and public input at the meetings. Actually, she would also stifle. There was one member here a couple of years ago that had to leave the board because of personal reasons and other things going on in her life. But she would want people to come in and have their say at the meetings. And this Madam President, when she'd just rule them out of order, and she not only would she shut up the people in the meeting, she'd shut up this fellow board member. I have no use for her. And the other guy is sort of her crony, because they both like to, they've never met a tax levy or a bond issue they didn't like. And wow, the taxes out here are extortionate. I thank God every day I can afford them, but Now this guy they actually provided some interesting numbers. That our school system, now we've got about a little over 20,000 students in our school system. And the population of our school district is somewhere around 25,000, I think. But the debt indebtedness is $348 million. $348 million in a school district. This isn't some, municipality. This isn't some small state. And then the interest, what's interesting is the interest on this is $18 million a year. Now these are municipal bonds, guys. $18 million a year interest. And then the superintendent's pay is $249,796 a year. That's astonishing. He gets $950 a month for his cell phone and car. Eight levies in the last 12 years. Well, what was interesting is they actually had a quote from one of these bond rating services, the Moody's bond rating service. Elevated debt burden and relatively high debt service costs compared to total expenditures. Well, I mean, this is, it's been a nightmare in the making for years and years and years and years and years. And I don't know if getting these two incumbent birds off there would make any difference, but it can't be any worse. It just can't be any worse. So there it is. Paul Paul's got a doctor's appointment here later today, so he'll probably be getting home here around 5:30. It's about his blood pressure and stuff. Just some meds, get some labs, that sort of thing. So nothing overtly serious. So little fine tuning. So we'll find out about that later on today. Meanwhile, I guess I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers. Alrighty. Here we'll give you a view of our fine maple there through the branches of the black gum tree and the hackberries. All right now.